Welcome, my dear listeners. Stay with me to get the spoilers first and subscribe to the channel. Let's find out what's going to happen on The Young and the Restless. Matt says Nick died from an overdose and Chelsea and Riza are fighting. The Young and the Restless recap for Wednesday, April 15 says that Matt Clark will make a shocking statement about Nick Newman. There will also be some tension between Chelsea Lawson and Riza Thompson. Let's talk about what's coming up on YNR. When Adam Newman opens the door to Chelsea in Las Vegas, he will be expecting Riza, who come because she had a bad feeling. Chelsea will know that her gut was right when she hears that Nick is missing. At some point, Riza will show up and Chelsea will wonder who she is while Riza wonders the same thing about Chelsea. Chelsea will make it clear that she is Adam's partner and the mother of his child. Adam will then admit that Riza already knows about her. Riza will say that Ronnie, who is also known as Matt, said something came up and they would have to move his spider meeting. Chelsea will be angry with Riza because she won't know where Ronnie went or where he is staying. Eventually, Chelsea will talk to Adam by herself and worry about how Matt is getting the best of Nick. Adam will also say that he thinks Nick's use of painkillers may have led to him becoming addicted to opioids, which is another reason to be worried. When Riza gets back to her suite and sees Ronnie there, she will ask her a lot of questions about whether she was in on the Newman brothers' plan from the start or if they got her to join them as they went along. Before Matt takes Riza to Adam's suite, she will say she doesn't know about the setup. If Matt gets any closer, Chelsea will plan to spit in his face. In response, Matt will call her spicy and say that Adam sure knows how to pick them. Adam will tell Matt to stay away from Chelsea and ask about Nick. Matt will then act like he is sorry to tell Adam that Nick died from an overdose this morning. Christine Blair Ramalotti will shock Sharon Newman when she tells her that Devon Winter asked the appellate court to look at Maria Copeland's plea deal again. That will make Sharon very scared that the plea deal will be thrown out and that Maria could go to jail, which would undo all the progress she is making at her psychiatric facility. Abby Winters will yell at Devon for filing that petition without her at society, but he will say that he thought they were on the same page. Devon will make it clear that Maria needs to be punished for kidnapping Dominic Winters. He will say that this is all about doing what's best for their family. Abby doesn't understand why Devon is so angry that wants to get back at their old friend who helped bring Dom into the world. Devon will get angry at Abby for trying to make him look bad and tell her that he should be just as worried as he is. When Sharon and Christine come to talk to Devon, he will say he won't change his mind and leave. But Abby will listen to Sharon and Christine as they make a strong case for Maria being in the fireplace at her safe psychiatric facility. Charlie Spectra will apologize to Billy about in the meantime. He'll look her home from the airport instead of continuing their trip to London. Charlie will be tired and blame it on a little bug, but she won't think Billy should change his plans for her. Billy will say that's crazy because they can put off going to London until he takes care of sick Charlie. Charlie will keep trying to get rid of Billy because he gives her soup, tea, and blankets. Charlie will finally tell Billy to sue for a while after texting Audra Scholes for a favor. She will say she is doing business. Audra will give Charlie a pregnancy test and Charlie will hint that she has been here before and knows what to look for. The Young and the Restless spoilers say that Charlie will take that test soon and then wait for the results. Nick's addiction gets worse and Adam tries to save him. This is the story of The Young and the Restless. Nick Newman is in one of the most dangerous situations he has been in years on the current season of The Young and the Restless, and the pain isn't just emotional. The latest spoilers say that Matt Clark wants to push Nick to the brink of addiction, make him too weak to protect Sharon, Noah, and Sienna, and leave him open to collapse before help arrives. Adam Newman is also working against Matt and trying to save Nick's life at the same time. The story is tense because one brother is breaking down while the other is trying to pull him back. The fact that Nick's addiction isn't being treated like a side issue makes things even worse. It is turning into the weapon itself. In the April 13 recap, Nick is already being held captive by Matt, who has a bag over his head. Matt is bragging that he would rather keep Nick alive long enough to feed him drugs and make him useless to his loved ones. That means Matt isn't just punishing Nick, he's trying to break him down from the inside. In soap terms, that's a very harsh punishment because it makes a personal flaw into a trap. The first signs of the downward spiral were seen earlier when Nick's behavior changed in a bad way in Las Vegas, and the recap said that he was secretly taking pills and having trouble staying coherent. That detail is important because it shows that the story about addiction isn't made up. The show has already shown that Nick is weak, already unstable, and already in a situation where Matt can take advantage of him when he's at his worst. The audience has already seen Nick's decline start by the time Matt is openly talking about giving him more drugs. Matt's way of thinking makes this story of captivity much worse. Not only did he threaten Nick on April 13, but he also told him how the game worked. He told Nick that he wanted him to be so far gone that he wouldn't be able to help Sharon, Noah, or Sienna when Matt comes after them. Another spoiler says that Matt thought Nick would be too broken to save the people he loves by the time Matt was done with him. This is a classic villain move on this show. The goal is not only to win but also to destroy the victim's usefulness, dignity, and self-trust all at once. That's why Adam is so important to the rescue. The most recent spoiler trail says that Adam will fight Matt Clark and try to help Nick get out of the trouble he is in. One summary of the spoiler says that Adam meets Risa Thompson and sets up Nick's fight with Matt Clark. Another says that Adam eventually fights Matt and tries to get the upper hand again. In other words, Adam isn't just watching the mess from a distance, he is doing things that could make the rescue happen. That makes Adam's job harder because this is still the same Adam who has been pulled back into Victor's orbit for months and has been setting off alarms about his own loyalties. Chelsea has already told him off for doing whatever Victor tells him to do, and that makes his rescue of Nick feel even more heavy. He is trying to do the right thing now, but the show keeps reminding viewers that Adam's judgment is never clear for long. The story works because he can be both selfish and heroic in the same hour. The Vegas setup is also important because Matt isn't acting like a random person. The recap said that Adam found out that Ronnie was really Mitch Buckle's name, that Adam said that the man's real name was Matt Clark. That moment makes it clear that the whole thing is more than just a drug deal. Matt has returned to the center of the Newman story under a false name. Adam is one of the first people to figure out who he is. Getting to Nick isn't the only goal of the rescue. You have to do it before Matt can keep changing masks and making the trap more dangerous. Sharon is then set up to be an important part of the rescue later in the week. One spoiler says that Sharon will join Nick's rescue team, and another says that if Matt pushes the addiction too far, she might be the one who finds him in time. That adds a second emotional layer to the story because Nick is now being saved by both the brother he has fought with for years and the woman whose past with him still has a lot of emotional weight. The spoilers even say that Sharon might be the one to save Nick from an overdose. That possible overdose angle makes things even more dangerous. Spoiler alerts say that Matt might be able to put Nick in danger of overdosing between April 22-24. Another report says that Matt could keep giving him drugs while Adam, Sharon, and Chelsea all trying to stop him. This is why the arc feels so important. It's not just about catching Matt, it's about getting to Nick before Matt's addiction becomes the last thing he uses to kill him. Chelsea's joining the rescue team also changes how the story makes you feel. She is already mad that Adam keeps getting pulled back into Victor's games. But the spoilers say she will show up in Vegas and insist on going on the mission to save Nick. That means the rescue isn't just a Newman family thing anymore. It turns into a bigger moral mess with Chelsea and Sharon both getting involved in a crisis caused by Matt's cruelty and Adam's willingness to go straight at the problem. Nick has already shown signs of breaking down before the trap fully closed, which makes the story even more interesting. The April 2 recap said that Nick's behavior in Las Vegas was already worrying. The March 12 and 13 recap showed how Nick went from hiding his pill use to Matt finally having him captive. That progression makes Adam's mission to save someone feel like it was meant to happen. Adam is not just being put into a crisis, he is reacting to a crisis that he show has slowly built up through Nick's breakdown. The story is also smart because it makes the brothers feel the same way they almost never do without a disaster. For years, Adam has been the unreliable brother who can go from friend to enemy in a flash. For years, Nick has thought of him as a problem, but when Matt starts giving Nick drugs and locking him in a storage room, Adam is the only one who is brave enough and close enough to fight back. That makes a temporary brotherhood based on a crisis instead of trust. That's also why the Adam saves him part of the title feels so good. The show has already set things up so that Adam will be the one to notice that something is wrong, figure out who Matt really is, and start putting together the rescue. On spoiler says he goes above and beyond for Nick, and another says he works hard to save his brother. If the spoilers are right about how this story ends, Adam won't be a hero because of a big space. It will come from being persistent, urgent, and willing to clean up Matt's mess when no one else can. The addiction plot is what makes all of this so interesting. It looks like a story about a rescue. It is a story about weakness, guilt, and the people who come around when the worst part of you shows up. Matt is using Nick's drug problem to keep him alone. Adam is working to fix that. In the end, Sharon might be the one who finds Nick. Chelsea is making sure Adam doesn't get lost along the way. The whole story is about Nick's weakness and the rest to save him before Matt can make that weakness permanent. The most accurate version of the current story is that Matt Clark is using Nick's addiction as a weapon. Adam is the brother who is going to save him, and the fallout is going to be messy, emotional, and probably dangerous before it gets better. Matt is still in charge of now, but the spoiler trail shows that Adam is getting closer. Sharon is on her way, Chelsea is joining the search, and Nick's life may depend on whether they got to him before the drugs do. That's what The Young and the Restless is all about, a rescue mission that is really a fight for a man's life, sanity, and future all at the same time. And just when you think this story cannot get any darker, it whispers something even more unsettling. What if the biggest shock isn't Nick's fate, but the lie wrapped around it? Because Matt saying Nick is dead doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like a move, a cruel, calculated move to break Adam from the inside. And that kind of manipulation changes the game completely. Honestly, this is where The Young and the Restless becomes more than drama. It becomes psychological warfare, where truth is twisted and emotions are used like weapons. And right now, Adam is standing right in the middle of it. And let's talk about Chelsea for a second, because her fire isn't just attitude, it's fear. The kind of fear that turns into anger when someone who cares about might already be gone, or worse, still suffering somewhere. But here's what really hits me. If Nick is actually alive, then every second wasted believing Matt's like could be the difference between life and death. And that's a terrifying thought. So ask yourself this: is Matt bluffing so by time? or has something already gone horribly wrong? And if Adam finds out he was manipulated, will he stay focused on saving Nick or lose control in a way that makes everything worse? Because I'll be honest, my gut says Nick isn't gone, not yet. This feels like the calm before a brutal reveal, where someone finds him just in time, barely holding on, and that moment will change everything, especially Adam. And don't forget Shelly, because that quiet pregnancy test ticking in the background feels like a completely different kind of explosion waiting to happen, one that could collide with the crisis in the most unexpected way. So now the real tension isn't just is Nick alive, it's who will reach him first and what condition will he be in when they do. Would you trust anything Matt says at this point, or in every world, just another trap? And if Nick survives, do you think he will come back stronger or more broken than ever? Stay close to the story because the next reveal won't just answer questions, it's going to raise even more. And that's when things truly spiral.